Good morning, Forward friends. Before I get started on today's lesson, I wanted to let you know that there is an optional folder. Please check it out. There's a staff survey there. I want to spread some joy with Dunkin' Donuts gift cards. I've already thanked Ms. Bass, Mr. OP, Mr. Shaw, Mrs. Goodnow, and Mrs. Rogers. So, open up the optional folder and you can find out what to do so you can possibly help another staff member get a Dunkin' Donuts $5 gift card. See you later, and let's get to that lesson.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I want to talk to you very quickly about Eric Carle and some of his artwork. You will notice I do have some books in this studio, and typically I don't do that, but I wanted you to really see some more of Eric Carle's work if you're interested. I want you to look at this, and I want you to look at all of his pictures, his illustrations inside the books. What does it look like he did? Do you see? Well, what Eric Carle did was he used collage. He actually cut these different pieces and overlapped them and glued them down in his original copy of this book or in all of his artwork. Okay, so you'll notice that this here tail, and you're not going to see the whole thing, so I'm not going to outline the whole thing, actually goes underneath the back of the kitty cat's hump or back, okay? So it probably is, a square here or even just a little triangle. Okay, so that is a shape. But you'll also see, the reason I'm telling you this is, friends, you're going to be cutting some shapes out to make the different things you're doing. Now, yours may not be animals, because what you're going to do is you are going to take your thumbnail sketches from last week and you're going to create one of those ideas. But if you need help, here's an idea. So the chin is just a little shape like that. The face is a circle or an oval shape with triangle ears. Okay, the eyes are glued on top of the face, and they're almost like rectangles or parallelograms. And the pupils actually look like 2, 4, 6. They look like pentagons or hexagons. And there's little ovals inside of there. The nose, which comes under here, is another rectangle. And on top of that rectangle is a pink triangle. The reason I'm tracing all of these, you're not going to be tracing them, but I'm tracing these so that you understand that the face and everything you make when you draw or cut things out, you're drawing shapes. Okay? You have something that looks kind of like a rectangle here. Now, he made his leg all one, but think about it. Here's a rectangle underneath of that head. And then, if this is too hard for you, it's just a bumpy line. But if it's too hard, you can also think of it as an oval, and an oval. Now, maybe you want to draw that and then trace around it. Okay? So, for example, bumpy, 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 and come together. So that is the same as that. Again, we have a rectangle-like shape. Now, his back is a hill. So those are just some ideas. If you don't believe me, We're going to try the gorilla. Could also do people. But the gorilla has circles for eyes, and in fact the gorilla has 3 circles glued on top of each other. Alright, we have a shape like that, kind of looks like a jar or a vase. Then we have circles for his nostrils. His mouth is an oval, and he has little ovals inside for teeth. We have a shape here, but instead of going under there, it probably is an oval. And then on top of the oval, he glued another shape. And this shape is kind of reminds me of a helmet or a half of a circle, okay? And then he cut some nicks out of it to give it some hair, okay? Some texture. Now, talking about texture, so what he did first is he would paint a piece of paper. And do you see these lines in the paper? He would take maybe a tool like this with a flat edge, okay? Or the back of his paintbrush, or maybe an unsharpened pencil, and he would make lines while the paint was still wet. Now we used watercolors, so we can't add texture too much to that, but some of my fun friends, they did by using the dry brush technique. So they did some dabbing. My bigger kids did that. We learned about the dry brush technique. So that is one way to add texture to it. But right now, you might just be focusing on the colors and the shapes in order to make your special creatures. Remember, so if you do not have your thumbnail sketches from last week, you might need to make some quick sketches again. Also, remember, those thumbnail sketches should not take that long. In fact, they should be done by the time your book is over. So let's move on. All right, so these are my thumbnail sketches for my 4th and 5th grade from last week. My sketch, I decided to do a crayon because a crayon is an object that does not breathe, it doesn't eat, talk, sleep, none of that. It is a non-living thing. It is an inanimate object. So a pair of scissors, a marker, a paintbrush, a lip gloss, a stuffed animal, those are inanimate objects. A toy, you name it. I did a crayon because a lot of you did a crayon after watching the book about how the crayons went home or something like that. Anyway, that was the crayon story. I did do a pencil here. So the first one I did, and these are just real quick sketches, it took me less than 5 minutes to do this. I don't want you to take a lot of time. Now I said you could color if you wanted to, and I didn't explain that very well. You could color your favorite one if you wanted to, if you wanted to do a little bit more artwork, but you were not getting a grade for your skill in drawing your thumbnail sketch. This is just your idea. This is so that Mrs. Brunlinger, I can look inside of your head. Okay, I know that's a little scary, but I can't see inside your head unless you draw it on a piece of paper for me. So I drew a normal crayon. I drew the eyes first, and this is all right. I drew this one, decided to get a little silly. I added arms and feet. I thought that was kind of cool. But I wanted to test my luck at a pencil. Now I do like the way the pencil came out. What I didn't like was I drew the pencil first and then I put the eyes inside. I kind of like my eyes overlapping. So I did the crayon again. I could do the same thing for the pencil again here too. I also didn't like that my pencil and my crayon walked like penguins. So I made my legs just a little bit longer so it could maybe move around a little bit better. Then I pick my favorite or favorites. These two are my favorites. I'm probably going to go with this one because of the way I do the legs. Even if I decide to go with a pencil later on, I'm going to combine these two ideas. The idea of a thumbnail sketch is to get your different ideas out and maybe mix those ideas or, learn from your mistakes and get better. So right now you are creating a character. You did that in your thumbnail sketches. If you did not make 3 to 4 thumbnail sketches and you only gave me 1 or 2, fourth and fifth graders, I'm going to say you probably should go back into last week's assignment and give me 3 or 4. That way you can up your grade, okay? Also, like I said, they are quick sketches. They're just ideas. A lot of you are giving me final products, which are gorgeous. I love them. But again, I'm not grading you for your skill last week. I'm grading you for your skill this week. And this week, we're going to learn about collaging like Eric Carle did. But we are going to use your character instead of one of Eric Carle's characters. So let's talk about collaging.
Don't forget to click the easel in the next slide. The easel will give you a demonstration and tell you what items you will need for this lesson. When you go into the next room, in case you don't have those items, you will also find some some computer things on the bookshelf. I may have some art books available to you that tell you or show you some pictures or artwork that artist has made, because we're going to do some artwork that's different but similar to the artist. Okay, good luck, guys. So click the green next arrow.